Okay, so after I import things and set some constant values, what I've got here is the player class. So the part of the game that you control is the player. And you can see I'm creating a class definition, but I'm basing it on PyGame.sprite.capital_sprite, which is the generic sprite object in PyGame. So that allows me to inherit lots and lots of good stuff. And you can see I've got an initialization method. And like we do when we are using inheritance to create child objects, I'm calling the super initialization, just like we talked about. And then the next 3 lines are me setting properties of that sprite or the player sprite. Okay, so we can see PyGame image load. I'm telling it what to look like, and I'm using a conversion method to tell that to convert it to the appropriate type of image. So I'm loading the image and I'm converting it to something PyGame can use. The next line here, it's called set color key, and you'll notice the value I'm giving it is white. The reason for that is because I don't want this white box to be floating around my screen. It won't look good. So if I comment that out, watch what happens. See, now my game looks kind of trashy. But if I have this color key set, what it basically says is, if there are any white pixels in the image, make them transparent. And that way the image isn't a square flying around my screen. It looks like the shape of an airplane. And I'm using that RLE acceleration to handle that transparency in a faster, more efficient way. We won't get into the mathematics of RLE acceleration, but just know that that's what it does. Okay? And then the very last thing says self.rectangle equals self.surface, remember, which is this, get rectangle. So basically what I'm saying is the rectangle for this is going to be from the get rectangle method for the surface. So I'm using that surface, the image, to get the size of the rectangle that I'm feeding to that. I could specify the dimensions of that rectangle manually, but it's much easier to do it this way. Okay, now inside that class still, I am defining an update. What you'll see is every sprite should have an update method. And it basically defines what happens when I update all of the sprites on the screen. So when this sprite is updated, it takes pressed keys as an argument. And now you can see where it's using those constants. So if pressed key is up, it's the up arrow, it says self rectangle move -0 to the x and y is -5. So it's moving 5 pixels up. So if I press up, it moves 5 pixels vertically up because negative is up. Down 0,5 moves down 5 pixels left, 5 pixels to the left, right, 5 pixels to the right. So this just goes through and says, are these keys pressed? Notice these are each independent if statements because I could simultaneously press the right and the up arrow at the same time. And it would move up and to the right. This next part is still inside update. So basically what it says is if we move that image and it's past the left-hand edge of the screen, then don't let it go any further. If the right edge of that rectangle is further than the width of the screen on the right-hand side, then don't let it go any further. Same with top and bottom. So it's basically just saying we cannot fly that jet off the screen. So if I'm here and I want to fly all the way to the top, I can't fly up any higher. I can't fly any further than the left-hand side. It just doesn't let me. So it makes sure that before the jet is drawn that it's not leaving the screen. And that's it. So this class, the player class, we're defining the image, we're setting the color key, we're setting the rectangle based on the image, and then we're just handling the movement of that airplane.